Father, here I am again tonight. My mind won't quiet down. My thoughts are spinning like a washing machine that never stops its cycle. I've been tossing and turning, checking the clock every 20 minutes, and I'm exhausted but somehow still wide awake. You know exactly what's keeping me up, God. That conversation I had with my boss today keeps replaying in my head. Did I say the right thing? Should I have spoken up more? And then there's tomorrow's presentation that has my stomach in knots. I keep running through all the ways it could go wrong. Lord, I'm tired of being tired. I'm tired of lying here, calculating how many hours of sleep I might get if I fall asleep right now. 4 hours and 37 minutes. 4 hours and 28 minutes. The numbers keep getting smaller, and my anxiety keeps getting bigger. Help me release these racing thoughts to you tonight. I know you care about every detail that's weighing on my heart. The financial stress from that unexpected car repair. The tension with my sister that we still haven't resolved. The way I snapped at my kids earlier because I was running on empty. All of it matters to you because I matter to you. Guide my mind away from that endless loop of worry and what-if scenarios. You know I've been here before, staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m, wondering if everyone else in the world is sleeping peacefully except me. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one whose brain refuses to shut down when the day is done. I remember that time last month when I finally fell asleep around 4 a.m., only to wake up feeling like I'd been hit by a truck. I stumbled through the next day like a zombie, drinking coffee after coffee, snapping at people I care about. I don't want another day like that, Father. Show me how to surrender these restless thoughts instead of wrestling with them. That work project that's been consuming my mind for weeks, the one where I keep second-guessing every decision, I lift it up to you now. The deadline is looming, and I've been carrying this burden like it's life or death, but you remind me that my worth isn't tied to my performance. Teach me to trust that you're working even when I'm sleeping. Even when I'm not actively trying to solve every problem or control every outcome. You spoke to Samuel in the night, and you can speak peace into my restless heart right now. There's something about the darkness that makes every worry feel 10 times bigger. That health concern that's probably nothing but feels like everything at 3 a.m. The way my teenager has been distant lately, and I keep wondering if I'm failing as a parent. The bills on the kitchen counter that I keep avoiding because the numbers stress me out. Lead me to that place of peace where I can rest in your presence. Not because all my problems are solved, but because you're bigger than all my problems. I'm choosing to believe that tonight, even when my feelings are telling me otherwise. My body is so tired, God. My shoulders are tense from carrying worries that were never meant to be mine alone. My jaw is clenched from grinding my teeth in my sleep. My heart rate picks up every time I think about that difficult conversation I need to have tomorrow. Calm this restless energy that's buzzing through my nervous system. I've tried everything else, counting sheep, deep breathing exercises, that meditation app with the soothing voice, warm milk, reading until my eyes burn. But here I am again, talking to you in the quiet darkness, because you're the only one who truly understands what I need. Transform this anxious energy into peaceful surrender. I know you never sleep or slumber, like it says in Psalm 121. You're watching over me right now while I'm struggling to let go of the day. You see every tear of frustration I've cried into my pillow. You hear every frustrated sigh when I flip to the cool side for the 100th time. That mistake I made at work last week keeps haunting me. I keep replaying it, wishing I could go back and handle it differently. The embarrassment burns in my chest every time I remember it. But you remind me that your mercies are new every morning, that yesterday's failures don't define today's possibilities. Cover my mind with your perfect peace tonight. Not the kind of peace the world offers, which depends on circumstances being just right, but your supernatural peace that doesn't make sense to anyone looking from the outside. Peace in the middle of uncertainty. Rest in the middle of chaos. I think about that night when your disciples were terrified in the boat during the storm, and you were sleeping peacefully. They woke you up, probably feeling foolish but desperate. And you calmed the wind and waves with just a word. Speak that same word over the storm in my mind tonight. Replace these worried thoughts with awareness of your love. Every time my brain starts spiraling toward that worst-case scenario, redirect it toward your goodness. When I start mentally rehearsing that difficult conversation, remind me that you'll give me the words I need when I need them. I confess I've been trying to figure everything out on my own again. Planning for every possible outcome. Creating backup plans for my backup plans. Losing sleep over situations that may never even happen. Forgive me for forgetting that you hold tomorrow in your hands. Slow down my racing heartbeat with the rhythm of your presence. Sometimes I can feel my pulse pounding in my ears when I lie down, and it feels like my whole body is vibrating with stress. Breathe your calmness into every cell, every muscle, every anxious nerve. That conversation with my mom earlier really shook me up. The way she sounded so tired and older somehow. I keep worrying about her living alone, about what will happen as she gets older. I can't fix everything for everyone I love, and that helplessness keeps me awake more nights than I want to admit. Remind me that the same God who watches over me is watching over everyone I care about. My children sleeping down the hall. My husband next to me, who somehow falls asleep the moment his head hits the pillow. My parents across town. My friends dealing with their own midnight worries. Wash away the residue of today's stress and disappointments. That argument I had with my neighbor about the fence line. It seemed so important this afternoon, but now in the quiet darkness, I can see how petty it really was. Help me approach it with grace and humility tomorrow, instead of defensiveness. I'm grateful for this time alone with you, even though it came through sleeplessness. Sometimes the only quiet moments I get are when the rest of the house is sleeping, when I'm not rushing from one responsibility to another, when I can actually hear my own thoughts, even if they're anxious ones. Draw me deeper into trust instead of fear. Fear that I'm not doing enough for my family. Fear that I'm disappointing people who are counting on me. Fear that I'm falling behind while everyone else seems to have it all together. Replace every fear-based thought with truth-based hope. That phone call I've been dreading making for 3 weeks now keeps popping into my head. I know I need to have that difficult conversation, but I keep putting it off, and the delay is causing more anxiety than the actual call probably will. Give me courage to face what needs to be faced instead of avoiding it. Soften my grip on things I cannot control. The way my teenage daughter has been making choices that worry me. I can guide and pray and love, but I cannot force her to make wise decisions. She has to walk her own path, and that terrifies the mother's heart in me that wants to protect her from every possible pain. Surround my family with your protection while we sleep. Keep my son safe as he drives to his job in the morning. Guard my daughter's heart as she navigates the complicated social dynamics at school. Watch over my husband's health, especially with all the extra stress he's been carrying at work lately. I lift up that financial burden that's been weighing on our household, the unexpected medical bills that insurance didn't cover. The way we keep robbing Peter to pay Paul, always one step behind. I know you see our needs before we even ask, and you promise to provide for your children. Heal the places in my heart where worry has taken root. Some of these anxious thought patterns have been with me for years, maybe decades. They feel as familiar as old friends, even though they're destroying my peace. Break these cycles of midnight anxiety that seem to repeat themselves over and over. That comment someone made about my appearance last month still stings when I remember it. Why do thoughtless words have such power to replay in my mind at night? Help me filter what deserves space in my thoughts and what needs to be released and forgotten. I surrender tomorrow's uncertainties into your capable hands. The medical test results I'm waiting for. The job interview my husband has on Thursday. The parent-teacher conference that has me worried about my youngest child's struggles in math. All of it is already known by you. Pour your oil of gladness over this heaviness that settles on me when the sun goes down. Depression has a way of whispering lies in the darkness, that I'm not enough, that I'm failing the people I love most, that tomorrow will just bring more of the same struggles. Silence those lies with your truth. Let sleep come naturally now, without force or frustration. Not the restless half-sleep where I'm vaguely aware of every sound and movement, but deep, restorative sleep that refreshes both body and soul, sleep that prepares me to face tomorrow with renewed strength and perspective. I think about how Jesus often withdrew to quiet places to pray, especially after intense or stressful days. He understood the need to process and release the burdens of ministry and relationship. Teach me to follow his example of bringing everything to you instead of carrying it all myself. Thank you for being patient with my midnight rambling, for listening to every worried thought and anxious fear without judgment, for loving me just as much at 3 a.m. when I'm a restless mess as you do when I'm putting on my capable daytime face for the world. Quiet now the mental chatter about tomorrow's to-do list, the errands I need to run and the phone calls I need to return, the laundry that's probably sitting wrinkled in the dryer and the dishes I left in the sink. None of it is as urgent as my mind is making it seem. I choose to rest in your love tonight instead of my own efforts to make everything perfect. Your love that doesn't depend on my performance or productivity. Your love that covers my mistakes and failures and sees the heart behind my imperfect attempts to do life well. Bless my sleep with dreams of hope instead of anxiety. Sometimes my worries even follow me into my dreams, and I wake up feeling like I worked all night instead of rested. Guard my subconscious mind and fill it with your peace and promises instead of replay of daily stresses. As I finally release this day and all its complications, I'm grateful for your faithfulness, for the way you've carried me through every other sleepless night and anxious season, for proof that your strength really is made perfect in my weakness, and your grace really is sufficient for whatever tomorrow brings. Watch over everyone else who's lying awake tonight battling their own restless thoughts. The new mom down the street with a colicky baby, the elderly man next door who mentioned his chronic pain, people in hospital rooms and emergency workers pulling night shifts. Cover us all with your peace. I'm finally feeling my eyelids getting heavy, Father. My breathing is slowing down. The tight feeling in my chest is loosening. Thank you for meeting me here in this quiet space and reminding me once again that you really do care about every detail of my life. In Jesus' precious name, amen. If this prayer brought you peace tonight, I'd be grateful if you'd tap that like button and subscribe for more bedtime prayers. Sweet dreams, and may you wake up refreshed and ready for whatever tomorrow holds.